All right, let's get started. Can't spell. God. Hey, we're alive. It's gonna be one of those days. I can feel it. I'm tired. Ugh. Okay. Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's just uneven ground. Hi, Vincent. Oh, okay. Good afternoon. Good morning. Let's make sure we start doing all the good things. I just realized I didn't put my Tickfinity on. Hold on. There it goes. There it goes. So let's start doing all those good things this morning, please. Why can't I do what other girls do and get a real job? Because I'm not like other girls. I'm me. Good morning, DJ Bookie. Hi, Chicky. Hi, Chris. Hello, everybody. Mike, good. You said good afternoon. Brings up BBB. Help me if it helps you sleep. Hi, Izzy. Help me if it helps you write. Help me if it helps you leave. Help me if it helps you lie. Crying in the bathroom, baby. I drove your ass home. Thank you. Walked into a haunted house. Got angry at the ghost. We were fine without you, baby. Long after you're gone. There's the big beautiful Bill. They keep trying to rename you. We have to have a discussion with them about that. Yeehaw! Thank you, trademark. Even if I'm eating fat. Hi, Jeff. Sleeping at my dad's place. I'm so happy for your haircut. I haven't even requested a name change. Hi, Infinite. Hi, Surgeon. Hello, everybody. Help me if it helps you leave. Help me if it helps you lie. We were fine without you, baby. All right. Good morning. Good afternoon. Afternoon. It's going to be one of those days. I can feel it. It's good morning, good afternoon to those of you on the East Coast. I appreciate you guys being here on this Monday. Oh my goodness. All right. Let us get ourselves started this morning. Afternoon. Afternoon. You have to eat your non and then we can start. If you're watching over here on TikTok, can we please start tapping that screen, please? I would appreciate it. We like to hit 50,000 likes within the first hour, but I know you guys can hit 100,000, so I'm just giving you a small incentive, but let's work on that. Remember, me getting the benefits of the taps is just a side effect to what your fingers are enduring and learning how to do for your partners, okay? I'm just trying to help you out. I just get a side effect benefit to it. So let's work on that and make sure we are tapping. Share out the live. That means reposting, especially right now. Reposting now would be great before I start playing videos showing articles, because then TikTok tends to be weird about how you can repost after the fact. So let's repost it now. Add it to your story. Share it to 5 of your friends. That would be lovely. Just helps to push us out onto that algorithm over here on TikTok. I can't speak today. I would appreciate it. Can we do our daily heart me, please? If we have not done so, there should be a little golden heart next to my name up here. If there's not, and you're not following me, what are you doing? Please follow me. And then if it's grayed out, hello, I've missed you. Send that daily heart me. It should give you access to stickers in the chat. Guys, there's a new one. I told you I was going to add it, and I did add it this morning, which is going to be lovely because we have an update on that. So thank you so much if you send your daily heart me. That. I have the roses goal that I always start with. If we could just slowly complete those, that would be amazing. I also have a refreshed gift gallery because it is Monday. I believe I am C4 this week. W's to trademark for already hitting us off with the hat and mustache, getting that completed. So if we could start working on my gift gallery to light that up this week, that would be wonderful. If you have an extra chunk of TikTok change that you would like to contribute to my gift gallery, I would appreciate it so much. Donate to Monty's Vocabulary Expansive. Hooked on Phonics, work for me. If you're watching over on YouTube, could you please hit that thumbs up button for me? I would appreciate it. Now, Midterm Monday is going to be very short today. We don't have a lot as primary season is rolling around. We really are getting into just smaller and smaller batches of people's primaries coming up as we lead into November, so it gets really short. So we will get into the regular outline and news right after that. Thank you so much, Amada. Thank you for the rainbow slide. I appreciate you. But I still am here to have conversations. Now, I have conversations with Trump supporters, thank you so much, Block Daddy, based off of factually based evidence and not your feelings. So you will not call into my show and say, well, I like Trump for the vibes, or I like Trump because of this fact. And then I say, well, can you prove that fact to me? Maybe I'm missing information on that. And you say, what? You just common sense, or you don't think. I don't have those kinds of conversations. I don't have conversations based off your feelings. I want the actual factually based information about why you feel the way you do about certain topics. That tends to be a little bit difficult for you guys, but we still try, which is why I have that number on the screen. You will be able to call in, but hit that thumbs up in case you are not brave enough or do not have the time to be able to call in. Pushes me out onto the shorts algorithm over here on YouTube so that maybe people braver than you will call in. I would appreciate it. You can also subscribe over there, become a member over there. You can send jewels and you can send super chats. If the chat starts moving too fast for me and I can't see something that you really wanted me to read over there on YouTube, you guys can do super chats. Not only does it support me, but it also ensures that your message gets read. Hi over there on Twitch. I see you. Hi, Surgeon, Infinite Yami. I appreciate you guys so very, very much for being here today. If you are watching me and you're not following, why don't you follow? I would appreciate that so much. You can also subscribe. Remember, if you pay for Prime, Jeff Bezos allows you 1 free Prime sub a month. Why not use it for moi? That gives you access to emotes in the chat that you can use. You can also send bits over there. Thank you guys. I appreciate it. And we have my 100 goal that we have every single day, guys. This is my job. This is what I do for a living. It's how I pay my bills. I would appreciate it if we could work on that. A woman's labor is not and shall not be free. So let's ensure that with capitalism that we are crowdfunding here for my labor. Dollar Train, $2 Train, $3 Train, $5 Train. I would appreciate it if we could start working on that. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, all in the link trees in my bio on all platforms. Thank you guys so much. And we will get started with our election calendar as we always do. We don't have that many for this week, but still important things to look at. So we're going to do that. Okay. Sorry, it's a little small. I was trying to look at it earlier. So, tomorrow, July 21st, Arizona, you have your statewide primary election. If you have not voted already, tomorrow is the day. Your statewide primary election is tomorrow. Arizona, if you are in Pima County, the Pima County Board of Supervisors District 5 has a special primary tomorrow. Arizona, Pima County Justice Precinct 6 has a special primary tomorrow, and Pima County Justice Precinct 9 has a special primary tomorrow. All of those in Arizona. Iowa, you also have local elections tomorrow. And then on Saturday, Maine has their Democratic Party U.S. Senate nomination state convention. That's going to be an interesting one to look at now, now that we have pushed out Graham lying motherfucking Plattner. So that's awesome. We love that. So that's going to be an interesting to look out for on Saturday to see who really is going to be taking up that seat. Now, if we lose that seat, we lose that seat because it's better than trying to win it, that blue MAGA bullshit, without having any scruples. We don't do that. So let's make sure that we stay to what we said. And we'll see what happens there. It's going to be interesting. But make sure you're paying attention to your local elections, your primaries, and things that are going on for you. We have a lot of big ones coming up in August. You get Michigan, you get Florida. So a lot of big ones are coming up. So let's make sure we're paying attention to that. Okay, let me switch that out. We can get ourselves started. Where's that one? There it is. Okay. Who do they replace Plattner with? I don't know that so I know Troy, what's his name? I don't live in, Troy Jackson. I don't know that they necessarily replaced him, but I think that's who they kind of plan to promote in Maine to take that slot to fight against, Collins. So that's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Okay. Let's see. Let's get some polling to start out with and some breaking news, I guess. That's usually the section I start with. So let's go to, we haven't seen him in a while. Our good boy, Red Bull, Golden Retriever, Harry Enton, speaking on polling. Remember, polling is only a snapshot of the time with which they took it, so you have to factor in the context of everything that's going on in the world at the time. But it's still important to look at. They are not a determination of things that are going to happen, but they do still, still are a good thing to look at to kind of see if things are getting better in wave approval or not. So, we're going to be talking about Donald Trump's net approval rating with Harry Enton. I need to undo that speaker. Yes, I remembered. Yes. Okay, we're off to a good start besides my speech today.
Fresh new polling on the president's popularity, but not as far as the president is concerned.
Okay, we're going to do the thing already. We're doing the thing. PJ Howie, you said polls had Kamala winning. You're right, they did. Was it within the margin of error, though? Do you know what a margin of error is? And was it within the margin of error? Hi, Kayla. Nope, it wasn't. Can you cite me a poll? Cite me a poll in the chat that had Kamala Harris winning outside of the margin of error, please.
Fresh new polling on the president's popularity, but not as far as the president is concerned, fresh like a daisy.
And now we're going to do the other thing that everybody likes to do. User, you said, oh no, CNN. So Harry Enton does this amazing thing that you guys don't do. Okay? Florida, I'm supposed to understand the polling from Florida. That's all you got for me. But user, Harry Enton does this thing you guys don't like called citing his sources. So he's going to cite the polls for you. Just hold your horses a little bit.
With us now, CNN chief data analyst Harry Enton. This doesn't smell good.
No, the cake is getting baked, and what's being baked And daisies, I'll tell you that much. I mean, just take a look here. Okay, Trump's net approval rating. You know, a lot of stuff has happened over the last few months. Has any of that really lifted Trump from record lows for these given pollsters or second record lows? Not really. I mean, just take a look here. The Washington Post, his all-time lowest was minus 25 points back in April in terms of his...
Oh, okay, so user, there we go. Here you go. Here's his sources. He's citing, so all he's doing is talking about a WAPO poll from April to now and a CNBC poll from April to now. See how that works? We cite sources. Cool. Okay. I don't know. Listen, Harry Enton's metaphors, we take his energy for what it is and we keep going.
Net approval rating, it's approval minus disapproval. Now it's the second worst, tied for the second worst of all time at minus 24 points. CNBC was at his second lowest level at minus 18 points, and now he's at the record low for him in CNBC, minus 19 points. When you put it together, what essentially is going on is there are a lot of events in the world, but this cake as we get closer and closer to the midterm elections is starting to look at least a little bit baked here.
All right. I mean, I suppose you could say if you're Republican, the good news is it's not getting worse, but you actually need it to be getting better.
Correct. These are horrible numbers, Johnny B.
So put it in historical perspective.
Yeah, just how horrible are these numbers? I mean, it's the worst this century for a president at this point in his second term when you look at an average of the CNBC and Washington Post polls. I mean, we're talking about right here, the average of CNBC and Washington Post, minus 22 points. Barack Obama was underwater, but not anywhere near this level. He was at minus 8. And George W. Bush, in the middle of the Iraq War, when that was going south, he was at minus 20 points. So at this point, Donald John Trump is, in fact, holding the record for the lowest net approval rating for a president in a second term at this point in the second term of any president in the 21st century.
And if you think...
Uh-oh. That's not good, is it? I look that poll up. It doesn't exist. Which one? We'll do it together. Let's see. Washington Post, net Trump, net approval rating. Okay. April 2026, because you're going to have to find, it's two different polls, right? Okay. In April, the Washington Post, ABC News, Ipsos poll, President Donald Trump's approval rating was negative 24 points, so he had one off. It's based on 37% of U.S. adults approving of his job performance and 61% approving. So his net approval was negative 24. Okay. And then, what is this one? Was that one? This was, yeah, April. So Washington Post, Trump net. You guys don't know how to do this. It's sad. Trump net approval rating, July 2026. Trump approval stuck in the 30s post Ipsos poll. This was 4 days ago. It's not going to let me read it because it's Washington Post. Hold on. Let me stick this. Guys, keep doing all the good things while we're sitting here because you know I don't mind fact-checking their shit, even though this person's username is user. So, you know, they're so brave. I'm so proud of them. Let's see. Hold on, I have to sneeze. All right, let me show you this. Because his approval rating stands in the 30s. Okay, this is Washington Post. Okay, this is from 4 days ago. Stuck in the mid-30s. We know this. I have to sneeze, it just won't come. All right, Trump's overall approval rating stands at 37%, identical to what it was in April. I'm sorry, what's incorrect about that? Negative 25 to negative 24? That is a negative approval rating in compared to his disapproval. Do you know how math works? Do we know how math works? Okay, glad we could get that clear. Since you guys don't know how to research. By the way, still not finding Florida poll. The closest I could find was Real Clear Polling, which had Donald Trump winning. So what are we talking about? And then there's this one. You have 270 to win. Florida 2024 presidential election polls. Trump So where were the ones? Where were the ones, PJ Howie, that all Florida polls had Kamala Harris winning? See, this thing you guys don't understand is that I'm gonna fact check you. Oh, that's sad. Okay. Anyway, continuing on.
Well, now it's the second worst, tied for the second worst of all time at minus 24 points. CNBC was at his second lowest level at minus 18 points, and now he's at the record low for him in CNBC, minus 19 points. When you put it together, what essentially is going on is there are a lot of events in the world, but this cake, as we get closer and closer to the midterm elections, is starting to look at least a little bit baked here.
All right. I mean, I suppose you could say if you're Republican, the good news is it's not getting worse, but you actually need it to be getting better.
Correct. These are horrible numbers, Johnny B.
So put it in historical perspective.
Yeah, just how horrible are these numbers? I mean, it's the worst this century for a president at this point in his second term when you look at an average of the CNBC and Washington Post polls. I mean, we're talking about
PG Howie, you told me that they had Kamala Harris winning. Okay? Winning. Florida polls had her winning outside the margin of error. Those polls have Trump winning.
right here, the average of CNBC and Washington Post, minus 22 points. Barack Obama was underwater, but not anywhere near this level. He was at minus 8. And George W. Bush, in the middle of the Iraq War, when that was going south, he was at minus 20 points. So at this point, Donald John Trump is, in fact, holding the record for the lowest net approval rating for a president in a second term at this point in the second term of any president in the 21st century.
And if you think that's bad.
And if you think this is bad, what is driving this number? It's independence, baby. It's independence. Look, all time worst at this point in a second term net approval rating among independents, Donald John Trump. This segment has been about baking. He takes the cake at minus 45 points among independents, even worse than Richard Milhouse Nixon, who was about to leave office because of Watergate, who had previously held the record at minus 37 points, and the aforementioned George W. Bush at minus 31 points. Donald John Trump.
Now that's bad because, okay, independents win elections on either side. No party can win elections without independents. And if he's polling negatively in the 45-point range, in even comparison to Nixon, that's really, really bad. I love how you pivoted. PJ Howie, were you wrong about the fact that Florida polls had Kamala Harris winning? Can you concede on that? And then we can talk about Des Moines.
The worst ever rating, net approval rating, with independents at this point in a second term.
Suck it. It's bad. And yes, cake is baked. I don't know. Maybe he wanted some cake. I don't know what that's about. W's to Chris. Thank you, Chris, for the $20. He said, thanks for being my background at work. I am so glad I could help you escape the grind of capitalism by having you listen to me. Thank you so much. W's to Chris. And W's to Oh Me, Oh My for the 25. Chatter is upset because Harry could riz his mom, in my opinion. Sure, I guess, if you want to say that. W's to Oh Me, Oh My. Okay, let me do this before we get there. That would be 25 from that would be 75 would be 55. Yes. Did I do that math right? I think so. Yes, I did. And I did it in my head, guys. Thank you. All right. PJ's here. Let me turn the phone lights off. Hi, PJ. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Can I get your age for TikTok, please?
57.
All right. Perfect. I'm assuming you voted for Trump.
You assume correct.
Okay. Don't want to be wrong, and if I am, I will correct myself. Not an issue at all. Okay. Did you want to talk about the polling?
Yeah, let's talk about Florida.
Sure. What about it?
I didn't say there were polls that said Kamala was going to win. I said you asked were there polls outside the margin of error.
I specifically, sure. And so maybe there was a miscommunication. I was specifically asking were there polls saying Kamala would win outside of the margin of error?
You asked if the polls were outside the margin of error.
The ones for Kamala Harris. I remember saying it specifically. Were the polls that said Kamala Harris would win outside the margin of error?
I have to look to see if any poll said she was going to win.
I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. She lost.
But no poll. But no poll had Trump winning Florida by 12%.
Sure. Okay.
But the Democrats are doing this every election. Ooh, she could win Texas.
Right.
I mean, people were literally saying
no,
that.
I know. They said that we could flip Florida. They said, and by we, I don't even mean me. I'm registered independent. But, that we're going to flip Florida. They were going to flip Texas. Yet, yes, people say things. It doesn't mean that they're actually true. And obviously not, because she lost. So.
I mean, but they did the same exact thing in 2016. I mean, the New York Times had Hillary at a 90%, 91% confidence rate.
Sure.
So why are we
she did still win the popular vote in that race, but yeah, she lost the electoral vote. Sure.
I'm just saying, why are we looking at polls anymore? We obviously
What did I
know.
say about them specifically?
I don't know. What did you say?
Okay. I said that polls are a snapshot, not necessarily a trend. They are a snapshot of that week, of that many voters, like however many people that they polled. I'm not saying that it is a trend towards what's going to happen. However, we are seeing poll after poll after poll, week after week after week, where his approval rating is not doing well, and especially not with independents. I think that is a good thing to look at, because independents are what help you win elections. And if he's having bad approval with independents, you're probably not going to win midterms with people candidates that support Trump, loyally 100%.
I would like to see how some of these polls are actually funded, because I think they're compromised and they're used for voter suppression. That's what I believe at this point.
How so?
Because what's that?
How are they used for voter suppression?
Because if you're told that your candidate has no chance, it kind of like makes people not show up.
Well, that's on people. They have to take accountability as voters and actually come out.
But there's no accountability.
For voters, I know. They should probably take accountability for voters, because polls do not put me off from doing my duty as a U.S. citizen and voting.
Well, so I mean, an intelligent voter is not even going to look at them anymore. We laugh at. I mean, if you're Trump supporters, laugh at polls. We don't even pay attention.
Yeah, I bet you do. Except for the one that Donald Trump liked, that was 100% of the GOP still supported Donald Trump. That CNN poll, he really liked that one, right?
Maybe. I don't know.
He did. He talked about it. He talked about it for like 2 weeks.
Well, when you say support, you go in all these lives. Do you still support Donald Trump? He's the president of the United States. What do you mean, do I support him?
No, I ask why. No. I don't ask do you. I ask why you do. Why you still support him, based off of what policy is going to be beneficial for the American people and what he's doing.
Well, I voted on illegal immigration, and that's what he's doing, so I'm good.
Is he? How is that beneficial for us?
Getting illegals out of the country, it's beneficial to me.
How?
It's lowering rent, hopefully lowering rents.
Hopefully. Okay, so you can't prove that, so that's just a wish and a prayer and a dream. That means nothing to me. So how is it beneficial again?
Supply and demand, it takes a little time for it to, move prices down.
Oh, okay. Is there any kind of study that shows that getting rid of immigrants lowers the rent, though? Because we've been doing this. This isn't the first time we've deported immigrants. We're actually deporting them. We are deporting them at a lesser rate. We're deporting them at a lesser rate than we did even under the Obama administration. Can you show me a study where that correlates?
What do you mean we're getting at a lower rate? You keep saying that. Based on what? We did 10,000 a couple weeks ago over a 5-day period.
Where'd you find that information?
It was in the news.
In the news where?
I don't do this for a living.
Cool, okay? But you believe a lot of shit without actually looking it up. That's an issue with me.
On my phone right now.
That's not an intelligent voter. That's actually a lazy voter, because you refuse to look things up. You hear, that fits my narrative of what I believe. Yep, done. That's it. That's all you do. I want to see proof of these things, because what we do know from the judicial system is we have a mass detainment problem in this country, not a deportation one.
Well, before they're deported, they have to be detained.
No, but they are being detained and held, and the courts are now saying, hey, you're holding them past 90 days without a bond hearing, which is unconstitutional, and you cannot do that. That is the most recent court ruling that we've had, and we are not deporting them. The only deportation numbers we're getting are from the mouths of Mullins, Tom Homan, and press releases, not actual data being released by DHS, CBP, or ICE.
Well, they're not arresting them and taking them right to the airport.
I agree, but
they have to be detained.
Sure,
and then
but we're not deporting. Even with expedited removal, we are not deporting at a rate with which we were under Obama. So I want to see where this mass deportation is happening, one, and how it's correlating to rent prices lowering, too.
Okay. So we're doing right now. We're doing mass detainment. I don't know how long it takes to get them actually out of the country.
Okay.
So, but we're doing mass detainment. You happy?
No.
All right.
I don't see how that's beneficial for the American people, but y'all keep, glazing.
Well, we have a lot of people here that shouldn't be here,
Based on
taking
what?
American jobs.
Based on
right?
what? No. Based on what?
Well, if they're here, they're probably working, right?
Are they? Maybe.
Well, they're coming from third world countries. They have they're independently wealthy.
So
why would you come to America if you're independently wealthy?
How should they not be here then? Why should they not be here? Because that was the question I asked you.
Well, if they overstay their work visa,
Sure, that would be illegal, and then you could detain them and you could put them through deportation proceedings. But that's not what we're seeing a majority of ICE doing. They are going to asylum courts, which they are getting in trouble for in the judicial system because they're not supposed to do that. They're picking up people from the street. Where's the benefit that we're getting from this?
I just said they're taking jobs away.
Prove that to me.
Well, if you're here, you're probably working. That's why you come to America in the first place. Why else would you come to America if you're not looking for a job?
Prove to me that that's taking jobs from American citizens.
Go to a construction site.
Have you seen this this morning by chance?
Nah.
Cool. You should read that headline.
Yes.
And then read the article.
They soon facing too few workers.
So they're obviously not taking jobs from U.S. citizens because we are going to have an issue of too few workers. So where's the benefit of getting rid of them?
In which sectors? Too few workers in which sectors?
Let's see. Let's read it together. Even as many workers are fearful that artificial intelligence could endanger their jobs, there's potentially bigger employment crisis on the horizon, a severe labor shortage that is set to emerge over the next 10 to 15 years, according to a leading demographer. Demand for young workers is going to explode during that period, leaving employers with a shortage of qualified workers, according to Stephen Ruggles, a professor of history and population studies in the University of Minnesota and the creator of the Integrated Public Use Microdata Series, or IPUMs, the largest and most widely used population database. I'm trying to find this is entries. We're having issue with labor force entries, so it might be generic.
This
labor
entire
force
article
itself.
This entire article is based on Stephen Ruggles.
Sure. What's wrong with Stephen Ruggles? Let's do the thing you guys like to do. Cool.
I don't know who he is.
I've never heard of you before, and yet I'm here listening to you. So
I'm just saying, I'm not like raising the alarm because Stephen Ruggles thinks we may have too few workers.
What's your information to the contrary that they are taking our jobs? I'm waiting.
Well, they're here and they obviously have to work, right?
That does not prove they're taking our jobs. That's just capitalism. Do you believe in capitalism?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, maybe they're just fucking better than you. Too bad you lost, so sad.
Well, how could they be better if they don't speak English?
That's not how that works. I can still be better than you at working and not speak English.
Okay.
Okay. So you have no correlation of proof that they are taking jobs from the American people.
You would rather have migrants build your house than union workers?
No, I would rather them have a pathway to citizenship so they could also be union workers.
You would rather be on the road with someone who got a CDL, possibly through illegal means, than California?
Sure. Prove that there is an issue there that they're not already handling in way of illegal CDL schools.
No. They were giving out CDLs.
Who?
The DMV workers.
The DMV workers. Show that to me. I know. It's really tough when you believe shit and you can't source anything to me. I know that's tough.
I read the article.
So give me the article. We can read it together. Show me where the California DMV was issuing CDLs out to illegal immigrants who did not qualify.
I mean, every time you ask me, do you want me to keep teacupping?
Yes. Yeah. No, I have no problem on my show doing dead air in order to do that. I'll do a mod announcement while you teacup. It's totally fine. Okay, guys, while we're sitting here, I appreciate you. I'm going to read out some Venmos here too as well. I see that we are at 28,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. And if you're watching on YouTube, hit that thumbs up button for me. Chicky, thank you so much for the $10. You said, I see that PG Howie has set strict boundaries between knowledge and himself. We do love boundaries in this community. Jolie, thank you so much for the $20 for all you do. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Jolie. And I always see you in the chat and you supporting. Thank you so much. Kayla, Erica, thank you so much for the $2. You said Antifa dues for our baddie with the microphone. We are getting nearer to the end of the month, guys. We have to get those Antifa dues in. Do not forget. And is that Queen? Queen, thank you so much for the $15 for PG Sucks. I believe that's Queen, so I don't want to say your name out like that. W's, thank you so much to you. I have to do math now.
There's your link.
If you posted it in the chat, you can't do links in the chat, so I'm going to have to type it out. Hold on. It's an goddamn ICE news release. Why do you guys do this?
It's the first one that came up.
Yeah, did you read it?
Yeah, I read it. I read it before. I don't sit there and keep articles at my disposal.
Well, you should.
I have things to do with my life. But I do remember things. And then it's like, well, cite your source. I'm like, I don't remember where I read it. I read it. I'm not lying.
So this is the entirety of the DMV system, or this is just 2 rogue employees who got in trouble rightfully for doing incorrect things?
Well, the 2 that got caught, I'm just saying it did happen. I mean, I don't know how many. I don't know how many.
You said the California. No. You said the California DMV is issuing CDLs to illegal immigrants who do not fit the proper requirements in order to get those CDLs. What you have found me is 2 criminals, okay, for conspiracy to take bribes to provide Class A commercial driver's licenses in 2 instances. That is not representative. That is not cool. Show me. Then what you're giving me now is invisible boogeyman numbers. You are now claiming that there is a problem within the system larger than these 2 people prove that.
I don't care if there's one person with a CDL that shouldn't have it. That's one too many.
Sure, I agree with you, but that is not representative of the entire system in California. That's these 2 people.
So why don't we come together regardless of your political ideology and say, hey, if you're going to drive a big truck, maybe you should speak English and be qualified.
Because
come on, it's pretty much common sense, isn't it?
Because English is already a qualification. That's why. English was already a qualification. Understanding road signs is already a qualification for being able to get your CDL.
Not if they're given tests in foreign languages.
Prove that. Now you're saying another claim. Prove it. Go,
Certain
Teacup.
states
Go,
do.
Teacup, and prove it. Teacup and prove it.
Listen.
We'll be here.
Come on, man. I'm not. I got stuff to do today. I'm not doing this.
Then go run away. Go run away with the beliefs and your feelings in your tum-tum without proving it. Go ahead.
But I mean, if you just scroll through TikTok and see all the CDL
scroll through TikTok.
Accidents.
Are you a grown man? Are you a grown man?
Yeah, I'm 57. Well, define grown.
Okay. Well, obviously not grown if you're going to use TikTok as your source. Just scroll through TikTok. No, I would like actual proof of these things happening. Thank you for this. These 2 criminals, as they should be, were convicted and should be sentenced. Show me that there are states, that there are cities that are issuing out CDLs based off of criteria, not including English. Go ahead and prove that to me.
Oh my God, dude.
I know. It's tough. Go Teacup. Or run. Either one to you.
You drive on the highway?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Cool. Anyway, find that for me.
All right, hold on.
Cool. Thank you, Erica Vixen, for the $10. I appreciate you. Said Marine Corps veteran and truck driver. DMV workers that are corrupt enough to pass undocumented immigrants make most of their money passing unqualified drivers. Right. If they're doing it for immigrants, they're probably doing it for U.S. citizens that are allowed to do that as well. Erica, thank you so much for the $5. You said no state gives a CDL test in any language other than English. I have not seen where that's been true either, Erica, when we had this conversation, a few months ago? When there were accidents from drivers who shouldn't have been driving. And I agree, they shouldn't have been driving, but they made wrong moves. U.S. citizen drivers do that as well. How dare you make him do real research? Listen.
I just Googled it and said that California gives a test in 20 different languages.
What's the source for that?
Google.
Nope, that's not a source. Google is a search engine, not a source. So what's the actual source that Google AI Overview is citing?
The AP is source.
AP? Sure. What's the title? You can't.
I mean, I really shouldn't have to do this.
You shouldn't have to.
No, because we know what's happening.
What is the title of this? What is the title? Not the link. Give me AP. What's the title?
All truckers and bus drivers will be required to take.
That's a new.
Commercial driver's test in English.
That doesn't prove.
Okay. Well, read it.
Did you read it?
Yeah, I did read it.
Did it say that it's being given in other languages?
In certain states, yes.
Let's see. Okay, so this says, here, I'll put it on the screen so everybody can read it. Currently, many states allow drivers to take their license tests in other languages, even though they are required to demonstrate English proficiency. So they have to know English enough to know the road signs and our traffic laws, just like what the fuck I said, right? Okay, glad we got that clear. Glad we got that clear. I'm done with you. I have news to do. I'm done with you. And I got more than enough donations to be done with you. Guys, these sources will all be available. That is including the one that we started out with on polling, and including English requirements for drivers from Century Road. I have information that I was looking up. This one will also be available in my timeline because you guys know that that's how I do. Glad I could help. You didn't help with anything. You believe a lot of things, and then you're going to undermine the fact that I said they have to be proficient in English. You would like them 100% in English. That's not how that fucking works. You just have to be proficient enough, the same way that you would in another country. In another country. No, you didn't. You didn't. You didn't. I did. The Florida test is only in English. Absolutely not, PG Howie. You know what? Speaking of which, I've got enough. You can just go. But, again, if you go to another country, you can get a driver's license there. You just have to be proficient. Now you wanted to tear down the definition of proficiency. Interesting how your racism will pretzel in order for you to just be racist, for you to not understand the things that are said. Okay, cool. I'm glad we could get that clear. Let's see, I'll bring that up again later. This is a little bit of, it's not breaking news, but it's a little bit of news update. I told you guys we were going to follow this, and yes, the sticker is now available. James Comey's defense attorneys have notified a federal judge in North Carolina that Comey intends to file a motion to dismiss for selective prosecution and a motion to dismiss for vindictive prosecution. Now, we don't know what the outcome of that is going to be with the judge quite yet, but it is just they are combining the two, and he is going to be filing motions to dismiss for selective prosecution and a motion to dismiss for vindictive prosecution. We're going to keep up with that, and it's going to be an interesting thing to see. Louis, I apologize if I said your name wrong. I'm an ungrateful woman, PG. Fuck you. How about that? How about that, bitch? You didn't give me anything. What do I have? Why do I need to be grateful to you for anything? What the fuck have you given me? Are you providing for me and my children? Have you given me anything? No, I didn't think so, bitch. All right, guys. Louis, you said you can do it in Spanish and English. Yes, obviously. Now, I just wanted to see proof of it. Again, that is all I ask, is to see proof. It's not because I'm saying it's not happening. I'm just asking to see proof of these things. So obviously there are states that give the test in other languages. However, there was still a requirement for English proficiency. That has now been changed with this administration. The test has to be given in English. And to be honest, I wouldn't even necessarily say I oppose that. You see how that works? I wouldn't even oppose that. If you're going to have a CDL and drive the massive amount of weight that those semis involve, okay, I probably am okay with you taking the test only in English. That's fine with me. Now, that does not equate to any benefit from removing immigrants from the country. Do you see how that works? That was the issue. Where's the benefit to removing immigrants from the country in that way? I'm not saying it. Oh my goodness. Thank you to to X for the $8, completing out the goal for Mute PG Howie, tired of the mindless chirping. Thank you, Fax, W Fax, for the $4. I'm grateful for how grateful you are. Can't stand you. I'm grateful for how grateful you are. I'm not a very grateful person to the people who did nothing for me. For Fax, I'm always grateful for Fax. And thank you, Bree, for the $2 for Mute PB for the day, or whatever the fuck his name is. Well, between the $8 and the $2, we're gonna do that is $7 per week and $2 per day. So we're going to count that as a week and a day. So PG Howie, because I have to write it down because I put it in my Google Sheets. 1 week and 1 day. And I don't count the weekends because I don't go live on the weekends. But W's to you guys. Thank you guys so much. Holy crap. That one guest pissed you off enough. Welcome to capitalism, PG Howie. We exploit people's labor in capitalism, so I guess I exploited yours and was able to make my goal, and W to you all from that. That's $2 from my cat for their Antifa dues. We appreciate that. W's. I have to write it in my thing.
I wanted to come up and talk to him because, as the logistician in this community, not only for civilian and also for the military. We don't care what language you speak.
As long as you do your damn job.
Most of the important things are symbols. That's universal language.
Right. There's very few changes in the traffic signs from here to South America to Europe. Like, the signs don't change that much.
Yeah.
So it's wild to me. It's an excuse for racism based off of nothing but a couple of crashes that have happened. But guess what? Those happen with American citizens too.
See how much brighter the room is now that he's muted?
It's so nice. Which actually I do have. It's cute. He thinks he can come up here again.
my God.
Unless you want to talk to him, Chicky.
Oh, let me see. Now that my manager decided to not call me. What's up, PG?
She said she wanted to talk to me.
Okay.
Yeah. Everything you were saying was just feelings. Like nothing backed up.
No, I backed a couple things up.
Did he, Monica? I was on a call.
One of the biggest things he proved was that that there are states that do issue CDL tests in other languages. That was true. Yes, but how does that
state rights?
Yeah, how does that equate? Well, but even so, how does that equate to having to deport immigrants? I'm confused.
I don't know.
I didn't say it did. I just said, how do immigrants affect you?
How? How do they affect you?
Because I drive.
Okay. And they were passing their tests with a proficiency in English. So?
Well, how did it affect the people that were unalived by that one guy who was an illegal immigrant?
Yeah, the Florida Turnpike sees 1,000 accidents a day. I'm from Orlando and Tampa, so I'm very well knowledge on the Florida Turnpike, the I-4 and the 95.
What about the U.S. citizens that hit and kill families all the time? What about them?
Oh, we have a huge driving problem in this country.
Do you speak out against that? Do you want to start deporting U.S. citizens for that?
No, I think we need more police officers pulling people over.
Oh,
we should be investing much more in
that's not
safety.
Prevention, though. That all that police do is they respond; they don't prevent. So that wouldn't help. It's after the fact.
If somebody's driving 110 miles an hour on the
right, so
highway,
they're responding to that.
Okay,
what's that?
They're responding to that.
But people feel like absolute freedom to drive however they wish. So we already have a problem in our country, and now we're adding the illegals to it because they do the same exact thing,
So people are going to people. What does that have to do with immigrants and the benefit of deporting them?
Well, if we're not solving our own problems, we don't want to have add more to the problem. You know what I'm saying?
No.
We can't take care of our own problem. We can take care of our own citizens. So if we have,
so then why are we spending? So why are we
in
investing so much money in dealing with them when we could be dealing with our people who tend to be a problem per capita more so than immigrants are?
We're starting to, but first we have to get rid of the illegals.
What makes them illegal? I keep asking you.
Overstaying their visa, false asylum claims, or
false
just
asylum claims. Based on what?
False asylum claims.
Based on what?
Just because you're just because your country's poor doesn't mean you have an asylum claim.
I agree with you, but you would have to prove to me that there is a result of a lot that are not getting deported and are here falsely. We know that actually asylum does not get approved with a majority rate and they're allowed to appeal, but a lot of the times they get sent back home. So what are we crying about?
Right, but then you have to go find these people. They're not like turning themselves in. So it takes time and it takes resources and it takes money.
Cool.
If they were
we
never
were
here in
already
the
doing that.
Well, and then you have to go over, have to start finding the networks that are harboring them. And
The networks, what networks
The
are harboring
networks.
them?
Oh, I don't know, but they are. I don't know these people.
This is why I'm done with you. No, Kayla, I love you, babe,
Bye.
but no, that's why I'm done with him. I don't know, but they exist. I swear. The fuck?
So I guess the military would be one of the networks that harboring them, considering that 2 of my soldiers have immigrant families.
You just hate brown people, man. That's
Literally.
it. That's all that it is. Yeah, he has a problem with freedom. They all do, Kayla. Freedom for me, but not for thee. W's to Vincent for the $5. He said, extend PG's mute for me. He lowered the average IQ of the chat by breathing. Sure. You know what? We'll just take that one day with your 5, let's say 2, 4. Yeah, 2, 4, 5. Yeah. Okay. With 2 more days. Here's your guys' mute announcement, so you do know the actual what would you call it? The logistical
Disclaimer?
aspect of the money on it. Exactly what each one's costs. I got a new one. Eli just posted this. I'm scared. I have not listened to it yet. This is a cold listen.
Do you want someone muted in the chat? Is there someone spamming, making disingenuous arguments, displaying bot behavior, or maybe none of the above, and they're just a dumb bitch? Well, you can keep them muted for as little as $2 a day, $7 a week, or $25 a month. And remember, while you may contribute to their degradation kink, side eyes at you, Ruben, we don't kink shame, but it is perfectly acceptable to kink ask why. Additionally, we offer that if there is a guest you would like to drop for any reason at all, you can get rid of them for the entire day for as little as $10. And if there's somebody you would like to get rid of forever and never see again in this stream, you can have them banned for as little as $50. Pay links in the bio.
Thank you, Eli. I appreciate you.
Side eyes at you, Ruben. I was gonna say Manny's in the request.
Yep. Oh, no, now you're not going to load on me. There he is. Hi, Manny.
Hey, first off, check the app.
Check the app. Oh.
The app? Which app? Oh.
W's to Manny for the $10 for paying for my time because your time is valuable. Thank you, Manny. W.
Yeah. So I just wanted to come up because I said it in the comment section, but the guy that bought the asylum, this goes for all Trump supporters, just anybody as well who's having a question. If the asylum rate, or not even just asylum, anything in life, any type of system, if it's 100%, that means the system's not working correct. And conversely, if it's 0%, the system is not working correctly. There are thresholds that need to be met for anything. So for claims of any kind, whether it be your insurance claims or asylum claims, if those numbers do not match the average metrics, there is a problem with that system. We know on average that asylum claims after credible fear screening by the court system yearly are somewhere hovering around, and again, average around 35 to 40%. That means that the system is working. There are certain courts that are a little bit higher that get investigated. And there are certain courts that are way under that get investigated. That is the system working mathematically. Now, there are arguments we made about certain claims that should have been granted, that should not, as well as certain arguments for claims that did not get granted that should have been. But that is case by case scenario. That is a outlier. That is not the totality of the system. Asylum claims, because they range in between a 30 to 40% yearly, there's the level of fraud that people continue to talk about within any system is marginal, is literally under, I think for the majority, depending on the system that you're talking about, it's usually under between 1 to 5%. That goes for VA claims, that goes for the benefits claims, and that's also for asylum claims. You trying to make that 2%, 0% fraud, you don't even know how the system works for you to even think that that's a possibility. And let me tell you, if it's a 0% fraud rate or a 0% negative, then it's not a system that's working properly. That means you're just not catching shit.
No, it's the same thing. They live in this binary, this black and white. There is no nuance. There is no anything for them. It's the same with elections. It's the same with murder rates, which again, everybody would love to see it 0%. It's never going to be, because people are people. So this whole one is one too many. Well, yeah, duh, morally, but we live in reality. So that's not going to be the case. Like, you guys have to understand how the fucking system works and what the balance of working versus not working is.
So are mass shootings, and they're not doing anything about it. And
Thing. Not a damn thing.
Okay. I'm gonna get back to work. Thank you.
Bye. Okay, we're gonna get to the news, I think. Maybe. Hopefully. Maybe. So I'm gonna drop you down, Chicky. I love you.
okay, bye.
All right, let's move to Iran. It's their favorite because of how I say it. Iran. Let's move to Iran. Guys, as we're sitting here, we are at 50,000 likes. Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. We did hit our 50,000 like goal before we hit 11 a.m. And I appreciate that so very much. Can we make sure, okay. Make sure we are tapping that screen and moving those up. I appreciate you guys. W's to you guys for hitting out my goal. I don't even have to bother you about it anymore. You guys have done my goal and then some. Thank you guys so fucking much. You're amazing. Jeez. If we could work on my gift gallery now, that would be amazing. But we do not have to knock that out today. It is Monday. We have an entire week to go, okay? But I love you guys. All right. So let's listen to this. This is ABC News reporting on these strikes over this weekend. So we're gonna listen to this as we get into more on the ridiculousness that is Iran. Now, did we ever? Yeah, no. And we have the chili peppers over here. If we could get those handled, that would be amazing. I would appreciate it. Didn't move this button this weekend, and I should have. Okay.
Overnight, the U.S. launching a wave of strikes on Iran, the 9th consecutive night of bombing, as CENTCOM announces that human remains were found at the site where 2 U.S. service members were killed in that Iranian attack on the U.S. base here in Jordan. The remains likely those of the service member said to be missing after the Iranian attack.
We hit him very hard again tonight, and we did that in honor of the probably 3. It's probably 3 as opposed to 2.
It is 3. At this point, it was 2. It is now 3.
Great patriots.
CENTCOM also announcing that a service member was killed in Iraq during the controlled detonation of a downed Iranian one-way attack drone. The U.S. strikes on Iran this weekend, targeting Iran's Revolutionary Guard, believed to be responsible for the attacks on American troops. Iran has launched attacks across the region this morning, targeting both Kuwait and Bahrain. The Kuwaiti army saying its air defenses are currently confronting attacks by hostile drones. It was a combination of drones and missiles in that deadly strike that hit the base in Jordan. Video circulating online appearing to show projectiles falling over the base, some intercepted, but others making a direct hit. Sources telling us one of those strikes hit a housing containment unit, raising questions among some military experts about Iran's capabilities, despite the administration saying the Iranian military was decimated.
Potentially, the Iranians are changing their tactics. They could be using more advanced ballistic missiles, some that maneuver upon reentry. thus making it more difficult for Patriot to intercept them.
An official telling ABC News U.S. fighter jets stationed in the United Kingdom and Germany are now being sent to the Middle East. And this nearly 5-month-long war, which began with the U.S. and Israel launching strikes on Iran, appears to have once again brought traffic through the critical Strait of Hormuz to a crawl. Market data shows only 8 vessels navigated the strait on Friday, although Energy Secretary Chris Wright is disputing that.
Almost all the public data I've seen is incorrect. There's flow through 2 routes through the Strait of Hormuz.
The renewed fighting spiking the...
So almost all of the public data is incorrect. So where's the data that you have, Chris Wright? This is supposed to be the most transparent administration in history. So if the public information is incorrect, correct it with the information you have that's not just out of your mouth. How about that? Oh, okay. No, you're not going to do that? Okay.
Cost of oil and gas, a gallon of gas now $4, at a time when Americans are already paying more for goods due to inflation. Both the Iranians and the Americans say they are still open to negotiation, but as it stands this morning, it looks like we are closer to all-out war than any sort of peace agreement. And Americans around the world have now been issued a worldwide caution alert.
Right. They've now told Americans who are in the Middle East or around the world to just be careful because of what is going on in this unnecessary war with Iran. Well, unfortunately, it gets worse. Here was reporting from CNBC this morning that we got. Love this. Iran's Houthi allies declare maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia, escalating threat to the oil market. We're going to read the key point. I had the actual one up. Why did you do this? Why? I had the actual one up. This is capitalism, by the way. This is crony capitalism, that you cannot even get your news reported to you for free anymore, which is exactly what the Republicans want. Just as a reminder, they do not want you to be able to get this information. They want you stupid. Okay? Just a reminder. Okay. Let's read through this. Houthi militants in Yemen on Monday declared a maritime embargo against Saudi Arabia, effective immediately, threatening to exacerbate the oil supply disruption triggered by Iran's attacks on tankers in the Strait of Hormuz. The Houthis have repeatedly threatened to close Bab el-Mandeb Strait during the U.S.-Iran war. The strait is a choke point for commercial ship traffic that connects the Red Sea to the Gulf of Aden and global markets. And we fucking talked about this like a month ago. We talked about how if this continued, if they could not get to a diplomatic solution, if Israel would not get the fuck out of Lebanon, and if Trump would stop fucking bombing them, that they were going to do this. They were going to start blocking other areas. We knew that. The militants, in a statement carried by state news, accused the Saudis of laying an aggressive siege against them. Tensions escalated last week after they claimed that Riyadh had bombed Sana'a International Airport. The Saudis have diverted millions of barrels of oil per day through a pipeline to an export terminal on the Red Sea. Those exports have acted as a crucial relief valve for global oil markets during the U.S.-Iran war. A closure of Bab el-Mandeb would block in those barrels, exacerbating the disruption triggered by Iran's attacks on tankers in Hormuz. Crude oil prices, however, were little change after Houthis declared the embargo. Well, kind of. It's not great. 82.52. Not great. And then Brent is 88. Not doing great. I thought he was going to solve all this. I thought that we were going to get, it was going to be good, and gas and groceries were going to go down, and everything was going to be okay if you just voted for Trump. Wait, this is what you guys are going to say, so I'm just going to preempt you. Hold on.
What about Biden?
Okay, cool. Glad we could get there. Let's get to this reporting. I kept this one up. Yes, I did, because it allowed me to read it. So I kept it up because I knew it was going to kick me out. We got some New York Times reporting. Pentagon withheld dozens of U.S. military injuries in Iran war. Now, before you guys come up and start glazing the taint of the military-industrial complex and the Trump administration in particular. Just remember that you guys were the ones who said most transparent administration in history. Most transparent administration in history. Why do you guys do this? The strait is open, little girl, just like your legs, just not as wide. I actually am sitting crisscross applesauce. I am sitting like that, but my legs are closed to men. I've had my 2 children with my wonderful husband. I'm totally fine, and you damn sure wouldn't say that to a man or a male streamer. Maybe think to yourself, why as men you come on here instead of arguing with the points of fact that I bring you, you insult me for my gender. Maybe think, are you jealous? I mean, boobs are nice, I'm not gonna lie. But are you jealous, or you just never seen one? Could it be that? Or maybe you just have to cope with the fact that he's been lying to you, continues to lie to you. They are not the most transparent administration in history, and this just shows it. Let's read facts, shall we? In the week leading up to the Iranian attack on Friday that killed 2 U.S. soldiers and left 1 service member missing, we now have a 3rd, by the way, 17 dead total. Iran carried out 3 other strikes against U.S. forces in the country. Those attacks injured dozens of U.S. service members and damaged helicopters, several helicopters, according to several U.S. officials who spoke on the condition of anonymity to discuss operational matters. But the Pentagon did not disclose the earlier strikes nor the casualties and damage they inflicted. Now, we already had an indication of this after the initial strike that took the lives of the 13 at the time, the original 13 at the time at the base in Kuwait. We saw the interviews that were done with servicemen and women over there in Kuwait saying that they were not prepared for this. The initial strikes on February 28th and the retaliation that then happened. They were not prepared for it. The Pentagon did not prepare them for it. They came out and they have said this. So we kind of knew that this was coming. We just also needed further confirmation that the Pentagon has been hiding it. The episode is the latest example during the Iran conflict of the tension between what the Pentagon says is the need for operational security, Signalgate, and the government's obligation to inform the public about the conduct of the war. In statements after airstrikes against Iranian military sites last week, U.S. Central Command said it was retaliating for Iran's attacks against commercial ships transiting the Strait of Hormuz, never mentioning Iran's strikes on bases in the region, including in Jordan. Central Command is not required to release information about injured service members, especially when they quickly return to duty, a U.S. military official said. Not very transparent of them, I would say. Moreover, another U.S. military official added, why would the Pentagon divulge information that could help Iran zero in on its deadly ballistic missiles and drone attacks in Jordan and other bases in the Middle East where thousands of American troops are stationed? Now, to this I say, didn't Donald Trump come out of the G7 and say that Iran had a right to defend itself and had a right to those ballistic missiles? Because I know I played the videos. You guys had rallied and yelled for months that Iran doesn't need any kind of defense at all, including ballistic missiles. And we started a war with them. And Donald Trump said, no, they should have their own defense. All other countries have them, so they should have them too. Well, apparently they're using them to go after our troops in Jordan. Why? Because we pissed them off by starting a war we didn't need to start. Okay. Good job, Trump. Central Command has also stopped announcing how many sites in Iran it hits each day for the same reason. In the days since the collapse of a fragile truce, the Pentagon has The Pentagon has provided little information about the American military strategy after nearly 5 months of war. The last major Pentagon briefing on the war was in early May. We have not had, remember, Pete Hegseth was showing up every fucking morning, and we were all struggling to catch up on the clips, including kamikaze dolphins. Do we remember? Briefing us on shit going on in Iran and lying about how well we have decimated them. That stopped in early May. That's the last time we have had a briefing from him about this war. They're not being transparent. They're not telling us anything, and it's all going to shit. In the past several months, the Trump administration has failed to disclose how the Iran war has drained U.S. supplies of critical costly weapons and how Iran retained and rebuilt substantial missile capabilities. The subject of American casualties in the war is similarly sensitive. The deaths of 2 Army soldiers in Jordan on Friday and another service member in northern Iraq bring to 17 the total number of American military personnel killed since the United States and Israel launched attacks on Iran on February 28th. The Pentagon's casualty reporting protocols call for publicly identifying deceased service members only after 24 hours have passed since next of kin were notified. The names of troops wounded in action are not typically released. In a statement on Saturday, Central Command said 4 American service members wounded in Friday's attack were taken to Jordanian hospitals and had been discharged. More American troops received minor injuries and had returned to duty, the statement said, but it did not specify how many, and the statement did not mention service members injured in the 3 previous attacks in Jordan last week. In a brief phone call with News Nation, President Trump said the troops died in service of our country and reiterated the war's primary goal of never allowing Iran to have a nuclear weapon. They didn't. They weren't close. We know this based off of our own intel. Why do we keep doing this? I don't have a varsity accent. I don't know what that means. W's, thank you so much, Erica. Erica Vixen, you are rocking it on the super chat today. Thank you so much for the $5. You said Hegseth is now pro-gender affirming care, but only for cis men. Yeah, maybe we'll get into that today. I have it. I don't know if we'll get into it. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth said on social media on Saturday that the loss of the 2 U.S. soldiers would stiffen American resolve. No, all it does is further prove that you lied to the American people when you campaigned on no new wars, and you are now using our men and women to fight for a war we did not need to start. This does not stiffen the resolve. If anything, it's going to soften the resolve because we are done with this shit. We are so done being in the Middle East for no fucking reason other than to manipulate oil markets for the rich. I'm done with it. We're done with it. The American people are done with it, and I'll show you that. More than 400 U.S. service members have been injured in the Iran conflict, according to Central Command. The Pentagon had periodically reported the total number of service members injured and returned to duty since early in the war, but it has stopped updating the overall figure in recent weeks. I wonder why that is. My soldiers are requesting to transfer units so they don't have to deploy. I immediately thought of you, Chickie. I immediately thought of you. That's going to make me emotional, so we're moving on. In previous administrations, the Pentagon usually delayed providing any details on injured service members until family notifications were completed. During the Biden administration, the Pentagon typically reported the number of service members injured in attacks by Iran-backed militias on U.S. bases in Syria and Iraq. More than 1,700 Iranian civilians have died in the war, according to estimates. It's probably much higher than that. Actually. So again, not getting transparency, not getting anything out of this. So let's go to a Washington Post poll again. Yes, being iterated by CNN, but on the approval by, I'll be okay. I hope so. It scares me. By the approval of this war and Trump's actions in this war by Americans. Oop. Nope.
Americans have not been approving of what Trump has done in Iran so far. In fact, a recent poll from the Washington Post and Ipsos found that just 29% of Americans approve of the actions that he's taken during this conflict.
That's abysmal. That is abysmal. 29% approval. That's abysmal. Pathetic. 17 service members are dead with hundreds more injured. 29% approval. Why the fuck are we still there? There was no intelligence that said that that Iran was going to have a nuclear weapon. Not we. Now they're going to say I'm being paid by them. None. That they were close? No. Nope. Not at all. Maybe we should have kept with that JCPOA document that Donald Trump didn't like because it had Obama's name on it. One tail gunner. That is insane to me. You just said your, and it's the wrong use of your. Once again, you're dividing the country, young girl. Civil war imminent. How am I dividing the country when this man has called me a leftist lunatic who hates the country even though what I am doing is fighting it? I'm fighting for it. I'm fighting for this country. I'm fighting for the people in this country. He wants to keep sending them to die in a war that we don't need to be in a war that we don't need to be a part of. Why are we in the fucking Middle East again? I'm the divisive one because I call him out on his bullshit. I'm the divisive one. They have issued a memorandum, okay? They have issued an executive order that will allow them to go after people like me for speaking against him. You know that? But I'm the divisive one. They literally say that all media is fake news if it doesn't glaze Trump's taint. But I'm the divisive one. Right. Anyway, 29% approval of what Donald Trump is doing in his handling of the war in Iran. But sure, it's me. And we keep going. Here is Jessica Tarlov on here with The Five on Fox Entertainment and talking about the bullshit timeline that Donald Trump has given us over and over and over again, about 4 to 5 weeks. Guys, I appreciate you here. We have not gotten these chili peppers accomplished, and I don't know why. We should be able to do that. So can we get those accomplished, please, as we're sitting here today? Would appreciate it.
See it through.
Jessica has some notes over there. Let's turn it over to her.
I did. So Jesse's best case scenario is that maybe this is a good situation in a year and a half. That seems like a while to wait for.
I think we have a good handle on things, Jessica. We haven't been hit. They get hit over and
we haven't been hit. At this point, I think when this came out, we still have the 14. We haven't been hit. What?
Half. That seems like a while to wait for.
I think we have a good handle on things, Jessica. We haven't been hit. They get hit over and over and over again.
Jesse, we were promised this started at 24 to 48 hours. Then it was a few weeks. Then it's a few months. It's been Bridge and Power Plant Day, I think 3 times. You know, threatening to end the civilization. He says every day, or sorry, only about 40 times that Iran wants a deal. Also, another 40 times the war is almost over. It feels like BS at this point.
See it through.
Jessica has some notes.
Because it is. It is. But it's okay because they asked Donald Trump about it. Let me just do that. And we can get to that. Get off of my screen. I have to hit the, perfect corner. Very testy. So let me highlight this so I know where I am. Let's go to asking Trump about his 4 to 5 week timeline. This was literally yesterday as he was leaving the World Cup that he also didn't need to be at.
Well, you keep hitting me. This is a far bigger job that we're doing. We were doing a little job of stopping them from having a certain capability. Now we're just ending it. So it's really not the same thing. What we're doing now is...
Oh, okay, so it's different. He told us in total, the total time we would be there was 4 to 5 weeks. Now it's no, the 4 to 5 weeks was to ensure they didn't have nuclear capabilities, which, by the way, there's no fucking proof of, even with our own intelligence, just what Donald Trump and Bibi Netanyahu says. But now those 4 to 5 weeks were for that. Now this is different. You guys are going to buy that? You're going to buy that? That's what you're going to buy.
We're ending any chance where they can have a nuclear missile.
They never did.
After a week and a half, not 4 weeks, a week and a half, 2 weeks, we stopped them from probably, but I don't want to have the word probably. Thank you.
Yeah, I don't want to have the word probably either, especially since you told us that in 2025, with Operation Midnight Hammer, that we actually decimated their ability to have a nuclear weapon, which again, still our intelligence did not show that they were anywhere near having a nuclear weapon, but you decimated it. So much so that even your own people have their own head up their own ass because they don't know which way to go with you. Because when Pete Hegseth was in front of Congress, he damn sure can't say that this war is now justified justified by going after their nuclear capabilities because you said we already decimated it. So what did Pete Hegseth said? We are going after and decimating their ambition. Not that they had capabilities, we're decimating their ambition to have one, which means we could be there in perpetuity if we're now bombing ambition. Didn't know that we could do that. Do you see what Trump does to you? The pretzeling that you have to do in order to make sense of the shit he says? So, Epic Fury was to get rid of their nuclear capabilities, or did we do that in 2025 with Midnight Hammer? I'm fucking confused. You're confused. I'm fucking confused, bro. Sure, whatever. Roll Tide Bama, thank you so much for the follow over there on Twitch. I appreciate you. Let me guys just update this and we will keep going with this man and his insanity. Also, W's, thank you, Hector, by the way, for the hand hearts. Did you know that I just figured out, like, a week and a half ago that those were, like, the same gift, but they changed the animation? That's what happened. So then this one was ridiculous. This happened over the weekend. I'm so sorry for screeching ass Maria Bartiromo, but they're so fucking close. They're so, oh, Peabody, we're like right here. I swear me and you are just like right here. They're so close. They're so close to the point. They're so close. And I'm going to play that for you in just a minute. Curtis, thank you for the 5. You said, MAGA, wipe the semen of your Trump posters and get a grip. Normal people find you insane. Cal should give MAGA a 18% chance of winning. Good game, losers. Yeah. And I hate betting markets, but it is what it is. But since me and Peabody are on the same page here is Maria Bartiromo, so close to the point.
You know, CENTCOM says that there will be outsized action in retaliation, but I don't understand how it's possible that Iran has the capabilities to fight this way and continue to try to lash out at Gulf countries and U.S. military bases, because the U.S. has obliterated Iran's military, and the president continues to reiterate that.
Yes, and if you look at the numbers of missiles that they've been able to fire off from the beginning of this war, late February, early March, and what they're able to do now, it is very seriously degraded. They've gone from over 100.
Oh, okay, but that's not what Donald Trump, Pete Hegseth, Marco Rubio, or J.D. Vance said. They didn't say degraded. Well, they are now. They said decimated. Decimated. You're so close. One more time.
You know, CENTCOM says that there will be outsized action in retaliation, but I don't understand how it's possible that Iran has the capabilities to fight this way and continue to try to lash out at Gulf countries and U.S. military bases, because the U.S. has obliterated Iran's military, and the president continues to reiterate that.
I have an answer. Maria Bartiromo, pick me. So, and just hear me out. He lied. Glad we got that covered, Maria. So fucking close. You're so close to the answer. Stop glazing his taint. He just fucking lied to you. That's it. And he's gonna do it again. Here we go. We have defeated them. We've won the war. We've decimated them. They're obliterated, but also almost.
It was great. It was a great event, yes.
Decimated me 1 out of 10, but Trump doesn't know that. No, Trump doesn't know math. And as somebody who also doesn't know math, he really doesn't know math.
It was great. It was a great event, yes.
CMDR, you said Iran killed 40,000 of its own people, but no one seemed to care about that at the beginning of the year. Here's the thing. We do know it's tens of thousands. I have not seen the 40,000 confirmed. I have asked multiple times on this platform from my community and from people who disagree with me. I don't care where it comes from. For a confirmation on the 40,000, the estimates that I've seen are anywhere from 20 to 22,000. But that's still a shit ton fuck of people, right? That is a crap ton of people. Now, what does that have to do with us? We kill our people in the streets. Does that give Europe the right to come over and take out our leader? Oh, maybe, because we also set the precedent that you're allowed to kidnap leaders of sovereign nations. So I guess it did. We kill our people in the streets every single day here in this country. The government does. We pay for the government to kill U.S. citizens in the street every single day. But I guess that gives other countries the right to come in, right? I don't agree with what the IRGC is doing. I just don't see what the fuck that has to do with us. Because then we bombed a motherfucking school in Minab. 168 school children. We are threatening their bridges. We are bombing their nuclear plants. We are threatening to bomb their desalination plants. Do not come up here and fucking pearl clutch to me about how nobody cared about the innocent people in Iran when we are bombing the innocent people in Iran to save them? Fuck off.
It was great. It was a great event, yes. Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots were out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily.
He's making shit up. Do you see that? Do you see that pause? That's him making shit up.
Badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little left. They've got some missiles.
Yeah, apparently they have missiles, which you said they could have, so that they can bomb our troops. Okay.
They've got some drones. They've got some manufacturing ability, not much. We control the Strait. They don't control.
Awesome. I don't want to move to Iran. I want America to do well, and this war in Iran is hurting Americans, you big, big dummy.
Anything. So we'll see what happens, but we hit them very hard again tonight.
We'll see what happens.
And we did that in honor of the probably three. It's probably three as opposed to two. Great patriots.
It is. It's three. But yeah, we obliterated their military, Jay Bunky. I know. It's just interesting. And again, you guys are coming after me instead of coming after him for fucking lying to you. I'm pretty sure that played in that clip, but we're gonna replay it because I think it's important. Again, how does he feel about the troops that we have killed now? You guys yelled about the 13 with the Afghanistan withdrawal for about a year and a half. You yelled about it and how poorly that was executed in order for us to lose 13 service members, again, ignoring the 64 that died under the Trump administration. Shocker. But it's 17 now. What do you have to say about that?
Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those...
Oh, what was that?
Well, we feel very badly, but you...
But we feel very badly, but now, I don't know if you were raised the same way that I was raised, but my mama told me life is like a box of chocolates. She also said that if you are apologizing or you're giving a feeling and you put a comma and a but there, everything you said beforehand is now negated because you were going to either ignore it or justify it. So he's going to justify their deaths based off of intel and information that we do not have. Also, yes, Z-Spark. Fucking anybody remember Benghazi? You guys still haven't let that fucking shit go. But here we are. You will glaze and pretzel and twist in order for Trump. Somebody said I need to have my TDS looked at. You need to have your TDS looked at. I do not understand why you can't critique this man. I do not understand what he's doing that is beneficial for you. Or for the American people at large. What, he allows you to feed into your racism? He allows you to feed into your bigotry? He allows you to be lazy and only believe the things with the feelings in your tum-tum and never have to read? Maybe you can't read, and I'm sorry that our education system has failed you in way of funding. You're probably in a red state. Okay, glad we could get there.
Well, we feel very badly, but you know, those great people, those great patriots.
CMDR. No. You said as a military brat, Democrats are just guilty growing up liberal. Told me they hoped my military parents died in Iraq. Called my parents war criminals and monsters. They might be. The military-industrial complex makes servicemen and women monsters. It makes them war criminals when it allows them to have commanders-in-chief who send them to bomb desalination plants and bridges. And guess what? Guess who said that? A registered independent who grew up in the Air Force. My parents both served. My dad served for 12 fucking years in the K-9 unit in the Air Force. Okay? I am a military brat. It is not okay for anybody to hope your parents get killed, but to be able to have the First Amendment right to speak out against what they do, it's the Constitution, bitch.
We're out there fighting that Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon. Iran has been very, very badly damaged. They've lost everything almost militarily. They've got very little.
No. Am I reading a script or something? No, actually. I really don't. I just say that. The only notepad I have in front of me just says the age, state, and a lot of the times people give me their name that I didn't ask for, in callers that I talk to, but no, I have an outline. Look, see, I show you guys this all the time. I have an outline that I go through. It's not a script. It's just an outline. Things that I say to you are my own things. Okay, keep going here. Here is Rubio. So then Rubio was asked last night about what's going on in Iran. Now, remember, Marco Rubio is the Secretary of State and yet has not been around for any of these fucking talks. Apparently, we are just allowing real estate non-governmental agent Jared Kushner and envoy Steve Witkoff to take over these negotiations, and that seems to be going real well, doesn't it? Maybe tap Marco Rubio in since that's his job.
What I will say is that the United States always remains open to a diplomatic solution. We've tried multiple times with Iran, and we'll continue to try. If that door opens, we'll be happy to see it open. But and they continue to send signals that they want to talk, that they want to negotiate, but their behavior is what we're responding to. And their behavior is they're launching missiles and drones against ships, including tonight.
What recent signals have you heard from the Iranians that they want to negotiate?
Directly and through multiple channels to other countries as well. They continue to send signals that way. But look, I also think it's growing apparent that even within their own system, there's a growing split. I think maybe some of your outlets have documented this. Between those that understand that their economy is in shambles and they need to do something, or they're going to be in a lot of trouble very soon.
Haven't seen that reporting. What we have seen is their determination to kick us the fuck out of there and to get us out. Now, they did sign that MOU. They said that Donald Trump broke it glowingly. As somebody who's not been able to speak well today, I was going to let it go. Donald Trump broke the MOU by threatening them after they signed the MOU. Okay? All threats and attacks were meant to stop. Israel broke the MOU by allowing, day one of the MOU being signed, Trump violated it. Israel violated it by allowing troops to continue to bomb and occupy Lebanon. Violated it. But now Donald Trump is trying to twist it and say that Iran violated the MOU. They did not. And this is in the middle of talks. We have been talking to them. Guess what? Midnight Hammer? They were in talks with us. Guess what? The start of Epic Fury, they were in talks with us. They have constantly come to the table to try to get a deal together because we had one. It worked for 3 years until Donald Trump was the one who ripped it up. They have come to the table over and over and over and over again, and we just keep bombing them.
Economically, domestically, and others who are very militant in their view of life and in their view of the world and continue to launch missiles. So they'll have to work out that split internally. We're going to continue to respond. If the door opens to diplomacy, if the guys that want to do something productive for Iran win and take control of that system or take control of the negotiations, that'll be a very positive development. That's not where we are tonight, unfortunately.
Oh, okay, so you do want another piece of regime change that you said you didn't want when you took out the Ayatollah and now it's his son in charge and it wasn't regime change, but it is, but we want it, but we don't. Also trying to engage other nations in this, right? We saw that all last week and the week before where you now have the administration and you have people within Congress trying to promote the Gulf nations like Saudi Arabia, which is, by the way, why Saudi Arabia is now being threatened with embargo by the Houthis in Yemen, but Saudi Arabia, the UAE, to come out and put their troops on the ground instead of ours. That is what they are now trying to promote. So they just want to have full-on war within the Gulf nations, and we just get to stand back after we caused it and go, but not our troops, as our troops continue to die as well. This is Senator Marshall. I can't stand Senator Roger Marshall. I really, really can't. But he kind of flails in this explanation. He's trying to support Trump, and he's trying to make sure that he says he supports Trump, but it falls flat now. It just does.
And that's why it's so important that we as Republicans continue to focus on the price of gasoline and
Cap, you didn't warn anything to me about New York. You didn't talk about you talked about the New York. Let's go through this real quick, Cap. Because guess what? I have the fucking footage. Cap, congratulations. You're going to be your own video. Good for you. It's the most clout you'll ever see, Cap. The reason you brought up New York was to say that they got, and I got you saying it, even though you tried to flip and gaslight me and say that you didn't. You brought up New York to say they got a federal grant bailout from the government. You said federal bailout. And what did I show you? It was state. And you tried to flip and say, no, I didn't say, I just said bailout and see, ha, 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 ha. Nowhere in there did you discuss terrorist activities or possible terroristic activities. What is happening in New York this morning is still under investigation, which is why I'm not covering it, because I don't have enough information to cover it. Do you see how you already took the tiny, minute bit of information you have, and with the feelings in your tummy, you decided what the narrative about it was without having further investigation? That is lazy. That is unaccountable. Wait for the information to come out. You know, Cap, you listen to this situation enough. I'm just saying, you're always just saying, bitch. You know better than to know that I would support that kind of action in any way, shape, or form, regardless of what their political ideology is. So shut up.
And that's why it's so important that we as Republicans continue.
You don't have hot takes. You have unintelligent takes.
To focus on the price of gasoline and groceries, and that's certainly my intention.
Well, that has to do with the war. Are you supportive of what the president is asking for in terms of defense payments, in terms of the $1.5 trillion defense budget in 2027, and the supplemental that we're expecting with the NDAA?
Yeah, well, Maria, maybe I'm not quite comfortable with the 1.5. I'm comfortable with the $1.1 trillion, which was in the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization Act, that the Democrats voted against. I'm in favor. I'm supporting what President Trump is doing right now. I'm mourning the loss of more soldiers. As you know, I served, my dad served, my brother served, my son is serving. I hate war as only a soldier who's lived it can. But I think that the benefits, the doctor in me says the benefits of us being there outweigh the risk.
The doctor in me. That's the credentials for war strategy. What? Oh God, no! I did it. I lost all my fucking windows.
What? Stop breaking things. Hi.
Hi.
Dude, I have a real hot take for Cap. Are you ready for this? Is everyone ready? Are you buckled in? This is gonna be great. Sunburns. That's a hot take.
Sunburns. It's even worse because I can't fucking see you because my TikTok just disappeared and I don't know why. Oh, where'd it go? Oh, there it is. I found it. Okay, we're back. And then she left, which is wild. Okay, gave me time to do this though.
We cannot let Iran have a nuclear weapon. At the same time, I don't want boots on the ground. I don't want a forever war. And yet we got to pay attention to these gas and groceries. Look, I want this war to be over very quickly, but we cannot ever let Iran have nuclear weapons.
Right.
But they didn't. And they weren't close. And they didn't. And they weren't close. Do you see how he floundered, though? He's like, and the gas and the groceries, but Iran, because I can't disagree with Trump, but the gas and the groceries, I still care. Please vote me back in. But also, Trump, I love you. Do you see the pretzeling, the floundering that they have to do in order to keep supporting Trump when they're meant to support their constituents? Golly. W's trademark for subscribing with Prime over there on Twitch. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. And also, thank you to Anonymous for the $5 on PayPal. You said, this is the breakdown of the declassified documents. Listen, okay, I'm going to read this, but I just want you to know. I was live, in case anybody missed it, I was live the night of his speech, and then we literally went through every single document that was released in those zip files. Okay. And then the next day, on Friday, I asked people to come up and discuss those documents with me. You guys were very, 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 very quiet. Because, as Anonymous points out, this is the breakdown of the declassified documents proving potential kind of maybe sort of voter fraud. And then it said that I was reading and it cuts off for me. And I don't know why it cuts off for me. And it's very frustrating. I can't see the rest of it. But nothing. Nothing. There was nothing there, which is why you guys won't call and argue it. And then this last bit I have on Iran, I didn't think it was going to take that long, but PG got us taking that long. So I think I have one more little section I can get through. Speaking of, on festivals, and then we can get out of here. Where does that go? Oh, there it is. Okay. But real quick, I just want you guys to remember, Joe Rogan, I think, makes like, let's see, what does Joe Rogan make a year? Let's see. Let's see. He makes about $100,000 an episode. Joe Rogan net worth like $67 million a year, like $60 million a year. You guys listen to him. I know you do. You guys listen to him. And I don't know why. And I'm going to prove to you about why I don't know why you listen to him. But real quick, thank you so much, Curtis, for the 2. You said MAGA fake Xtions. You means Christians. Get your tongues out, Trump's. Look, they like it there. We accept all kinds of kinks, and I will shame. But Joe Rogan makes like $60 million a year and doesn't know that the Trump children created a brand new fucking drone company to receive a contract from the government during the war in Iran.
What about the military drones? Those contracts, when this war started, that's, you can look into who made money on that one.
Who made money on that one? Wait a minute.
What did you?
Are you?
I'm just
this
Googling
has
things
got to
over
be
here.
a mistake.
Where did
Eric and Don?
So then he does what you guys all do. This can't be real.
Got to be a mistake.
Where did
Eric and Don Jr. invest in military drone company amid Iran war?
Is it Jamie? Where'd you find this?
That seems like propaganda from Iran or something.
What? What? It seems like propaganda from Iran. Okay. This was the one they were looking at, actually. It was The Hill, but this is an opinion piece. Let's go to company backed by Trump's sons. Looks to sell drone interceptors to Gulf states being attacked by Iran. This was in April. A drone maker backed by President Donald Trump's 2 oldest sons is trying to sell to Gulf countries while they are under attack by Iran and dependent on the U.S. military led by their father. The sales drive by Florida-based Power Us, which announced a deal last month to bring aboard Eric Trump and Donald Trump Jr., positions the company to potentially benefit from a war that their father began. These countries are under enormous pressure to buy from the sons of the president, so he will do what they want, said Richard Painter, a former chief White House ethics lawyer under President George W. Bush. This is going to be the first family of a president to make a lot of money off war, a war he didn't get the consent of Congress for. Power Us co-founder Brett Velikovich told the Associated Press that the company is making sales pitches that include drone demonstrations in several Gulf countries to show how its defensive drone interceptors could help them ward off Iranian attacks. Our team is doing many demos across the Middle East right now for our interceptors. Velikovich said in a text exchange, we have very incredible tech that can save lives. He declined to name the countries or give more details. The Trump brothers' deal with Power Us could give them sizable equity stakes. Their father, as commander-in-chief, launched the strikes with Israel against Iran over a month ago that began the war. Power Us denied there were any conflicts with the Trump brothers' stake was first announced. So where's the propaganda? Because you can absolutely see publicly that they have stake in this company that received a contract for the drones. But Joe Rogan gets paid $60 million a year. Just a reminder. Okay. W to you guys for hitting 124,000 likes over here on TikTok. I appreciate you. I'm sorry I did not start earlier because I have a lot to get through that I didn't get through. That's frustrating. I am going to go through this. I have a few of these because Donald Trump's about to be mad at Chris Wright, the Secretary of Energy, and I just love that for him. So we are going to get through that before I get out of here today. I'm going to start trying to start earlier. I already have to get my mindset up and running for, excuse me, for when school starts again for my children. So I'm going to start getting up earlier. I really am going to start doing my workout so that I can have time to still get in that last minute research that happens overnight while I'm sleeping, and have these outlines ready for you. I'm also working with people in my community on getting together, that if there's stuff that I missed that I really would like to have covered and they have time, that they can go live with that information. If I cannot, because unfortunately, you know, the government says I have to feed my kids. Just kidding. I have to feed my kids. So, but I am going to start trying to move my schedule from 10 to 12 Mountain Time to 9 to 12 Mountain Time. That is my goal, okay? Is to move earlier. So we're going to work on that. It might not be perfection. My brain is still in summer mode, but I'm going to work on it, okay? That is the plan. But let's get to this section on festivals real quick. So, after Donald Trump's bullshit fucking speech of nothing, Chris Wright is asked about it on ABC this week, talking about, well, if there was such an issue with foreign interference, I'm sorry, Ari. I also have a control issue that I'm working on. I have a control issue that I'm working on. Not that I don't think it'll be displayed right. It's not that. It's just like, I also like to talk shit. So I like to get to every section because I like to talk shit. But Chris Wright is asked, if foreign interference or influence is such an issue, why is Donald Trump defunded the agencies that are in charge of ensuring free and fair elections?
Okay, Mr. Richter, while I've got you here, a different topic. The president made it clear this week that he views election security as a top domestic priority. Yet we saw his budget has cut CISA, the cybersecurity agency, by $700 million. If he's so concerned about possible foreign interference in our elections, why does his budget cut the agency that would be charged with preventing that?
Why would you cut $700 million from CISA, which is responsible for investigating foreign influence and interference in our elections? Why would you do that? Could it be that it was all bullshit? I think it was all bullshit.
Well, look, there's many cybersecurity agencies across the government. We meet regularly on that topic, and our efforts have done nothing but ramp up. Sure, they've gotten more sophisticated and a different focus of them, but I wouldn't look at the inputs, the money spent. I'd look at the outputs, the quality of United States cybersecurity that's never been higher than where it is right now under President Trump.
Never been higher, and you're including election security in that.
Across the board.
He's doing great, even with election security, right?
But I wouldn't look at the inputs, the money spent. I'd look at the outputs, the quality of United States cybersecurity that's never been higher than where it is right now under President Trump.
Okay, so our cybersecurity has never been higher than it is under Trump, meaning that our elections in November will be safe and secure, right?
Never been higher, and you're including election security in that.
Across the board, we are looking at cybersecurity from threats from adversaries. I've not been involved in the election efforts, so I can't comment on them. But obviously, having trust in American systems of government and keeping our nation secure is top priority for the Trump administration.
Right, DJ Bookie, he knew he fucked up. He's all, fuck. Well, he's gonna fuck up again. So let's watch Chris Wright fumble when he is then asked, did Joe Biden win in 2020?
Hey, and one last question before you go. Really simple.
Jay Bunkie, you are absolutely correct. He is mad at CISA for CISA coming out after all the audits, the hand recounts, all the bullshit. CISA came out and said that the 2020 election was the most secure that we've ever had.
Hey, and one last question before you go. Really simple one. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election?
He was president for 4 years. Clearly so.
He clearly won the election.
Like, I'm not an election evaluator, but it sure seems to me like he did.
Okay.
Well, From Chris Wright's mouth. Somebody said, if you watch mainstream media, I can't believe you believe the rubbish. The rubbish from the Secretary of Energy? The Secretary of Energy in the Trump administration who was appointed by Donald Trump, or nominated by Donald Trump and confirmed by the Senate? That guy? Just one more time.
Hey, and one last question before you go. Really simple one. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 presidential election?
He was president for 4 years. Clearly so.
He clearly won the election.
To be fair, the pause is because there's always a delay.
Like, I'm not an election evaluator, but it sure seems to me like he did.
Okay, Secretary Wright, thank you very much. Appreciate it.
I know that Donald Trump called him. Chris, I don't know what you thought you were doing. Yes, my Donald Trump is him turning into Alex Jones a little bit. They're like morphing into the same person. But locally, this is my last one for the day. I might be able to find something to squeeze in here before we go. But thanks, Jared Polis, you corporate shill Democrat establishment. Astard Bay? Itch Bay? I'm trying to be careful for TikTok. Thank you so much. Thank you for allowing Tina Peters to be released, because this is what we get now.
We don't have to prove anymore that these machines are cheating, that the
What? What? You don't have to prove it anymore? You can just believe it now?
We don't have to prove anymore that these machines are cheating, that the ballots are being harvested, that all these things, the mail-in ballot, we don't have to prove that anymore. There is enough evidence to show that these processes should never be in place, even if...
What evidence? What evidence? I'm still waiting 6 years later, and I'm still waiting.
If we didn't have all the proof that we have in Mesa County Report 1, 2, and 3 from 5 years ago, we have enough to show that these processes, these machines, the registration database that David Becker with SEER and
BC, based on what proof? What evidence?
And all of that is, they can't be trusted. So if a process and
That's not even true, because we read the documents that Donald Trump declassified from CISA and another separate organization, okay, that investigated these elections and found that they were safe, found that they were secure, found that states were doing what they had told them to do in their reports to make sure it was safe and secure.
And a mechanism of recording the people's vote accurately can't be trusted.
It can be. That was what you didn't read in CISA's report, right? In CISA's report, they said that there were things that could be done better. The states then cooperated, and they did. They were able to track their votes.
It has to be gone away. It has to be thrown.
BC, instead of saying that I have TDS, can you prove to me where the cheating was with evidence? The last thing you said to me was that Joe Biden triumphed by cheating. I ask you to prove that to me with evidence, because I am open to seeing evidence of actual cheating that led to an outcome that could be overturned. Show me that. And in response to that, you gave me TDS. Who has the TDS? Is it the person actually asking the factual information and sources, or is it you?
Thrown away and new processes implemented, and they're very simple. The process.
Can anybody guess what BC just said about evidence? Can you guess? Anybody? I just want to just guess what they said. Please. I just need to hear it. Evidence. W's blue. Just wait and see. You will find out what evidence they have real soon. It's coming. In 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, guys. We're going to see it.
Processes to replace these machines and these processes is very simple. People try to make it sound too difficult and too complicated.
It's not. We know that the reports within our own government or that it's safe and that it's secure. You guys are just spreading more lies without any evidence once again. Okay. I have 7 minutes. No. Not going to be able to get to that. I still have to get to that ICC stuff. Let's play. Is this enough time for this? Yeah. Let's play this speech that Jon Ossoff gave over the weekend. I think that's where we should end today. No, I know my laws. I hear the TDS in your voice. The TDS of again asking you to stop believing 6 years of the evidence is coming. I have TDS. The evidence is coming. It's been coming for 6 years. Now you know, BC, what it feels like to be a woman when a man can't satisfy her. It's coming, baby. I promise that it's coming. It is coming at some point. I promise.
And I don't know if you saw...
They're edging the evidence. Exactly.
And I don't know if you saw what happened last night. But the same man whose grievances stirred up that violent mob that sacked the Capitol still cannot let go of his shame and humiliation.
007, he said, here's the big question. Why are they trying to kill the SAVE Act? If there's no fraud, then they would pass it. No. One, they know it's not popular with constituents because it's not a voter ID bill. That's not what the SAVE Act is. It is a voter suppression bill. And you would know that if you had read it. We read it on my platform. Here, we went over the SAVE Act, okay? A real ID is not enough. They are then going to take away, in the SAVE Act, they are taking away online registration, which means they are going to be allowed to purge their voter rolls. And you will have to re-register. If you're already registered, you will be purged. And you will have to re-register in person at your local election office, not the DMV. Your local election office. And for some people who actually this would hurt you more than it would hurt the left, but here we are fighting for your rights since you guys don't seem to do that yourselves. I'll fight for them. People who live in rural areas, their local election office might be an hour, 2 hours, 5 hours away. So no, that is voter suppression. That's not voter ID. Got it? Read it. Read the goddamn bill, because it's not just Democrats going against it, is it? It's Republicans too. W's, Erica Vixen, just like huge W's to Erica Vixen for the super chats today. You are awesome. You said soon we'll have the evidence that Iraq has WMTs. Any day now. Any day now, Erica. Absolutely. Absolutely. Bah ha 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 ha. What nonsense. Read the bill. Read it. Read it.
But the same man whose grievances stirred up that violent mob that sacked the Capitol still cannot let go of his shame and humiliation at having been dealt that defeat by voters here in Georgia and across the country. And so at a moment when his war spirals out of control and prices for American families climb higher and higher, instead of focusing on the nation's needs, as always, he nurses his grievances. As always, he forces the rest of us to help him process his shame. As always, he centers his own fear of the accountability that he will face when we win decisively this fall. That's what we saw last night. But what we also saw last night was a clear signal of this president's intent to unconstitutionally wield federal...
Mavro, I will ask you what I asked BC. Maybe you can give me a better answer. You said the stolen thing, TikTok doesn't like me to say it, was obvious. Shame on Democrats. Where was it obvious? If it was obvious, we wouldn't be sitting here 6 years later asking for evidence.
...power to attack this election and to undermine voting rights. And he's done it before. There's one man who tried to commit election fraud in the state of Georgia in that 2020 election, and it was Donald Trump when he called up Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger. Do you all remember the call?
We played it on Friday. I've played it multiple times. Shall we play it again? Hold on, pause. Ossoff? Let's see. Let's go back. 1 sec. Let's go find it. Here we go.
Look, all I want to do is this. I just want to find 11,780 votes.
What was the president asking you to do?
He was asking us to recalibrate or recalculate, I believe it was, recalculate.
Yes, Jeff. 81 million is statistically out of the normal range. Were we in normal times during that time or no?
Somehow get a different answer, but I'm an engineer, and anyone that's good with numbers knows you can calculate all you want, but the numbers are the numbers.
So what are we going to do here, folks? I only need 11,000 votes. Fellas, I need 11,000 votes. Give me a break.
But the words used by the president and the president's chief of staff, give me a break,
Excuse me.
cooperate, compromise. Were they asking you to join them in a conspiracy?
I guess maybe they were just trying to intimidate me and cajole me into something. It wasn't going to happen.
So, look.
Cool. Glad we could get that straight. Let's go back to Ossoff. I have to go back to my other outline too. Okay.
And he demanded that Brad, quote, find him.
That voice, David, stop. That voice recording sounds legit. Are you trying to say it's not real? You trying to say that wasn't a real call that happened between him and Brad Raffensperger? Is that what you're trying to say now, David? But I have TDS. You know, Donald Trump admitted to that phone call, but said he didn't do anything wrong, right? Okay. But I have TDS.
The exact number of votes he needed to win in a state that he had lost. That was fraud. That was an attempt to throw out your votes, to seize the presidency. So we have to expect that once again, he will try to throw out our votes, that once again, he will attack elections and voting rights here in Georgia. But what a mistake he is making. Coming to the cradle and the heart of the civil rights movement to attack voting rights. Our answer will be massive. Our answer will be decisive. We won't just restore checks and balances for the next 2 years. We will rebuke him so decisively that no president will dare try this kind of brazen corruption and abuse again for centuries.
W. Love Ossoff. Just for the benefit of truth and transparency, because we actually do that here. I know that you guys don't. But here is, this is an article from The Hill. Okay, hold on. Let me come up here. Now I can bring it up. From September 19th of 2022. Don't know if you guys know this. Archives exist, so you can keep holding on to that, okay? September 19th of 2022. Trump defends perfect call with Raffensperger amid threat of prison sentences from Georgia probe. Remember, he had a probe. Former President Trump defended the controversial call he made to Georgia Secretary of State Brad Raffensperger following the 2020 election, saying in a statement on Monday that it was, quote, an absolutely perfect phone call. The latest defense of the call, which has triggered an investigation in Georgia, follows remarks last week by Fulton County District Attorney Fannie T. Willis to the Washington Post that people could face prison sentences as a result of her probe. Let's go down. In a statement through his Save America PAC, Trump said that Willis is spending almost all of her waking hours, which aren't many, on attempting to prosecute a very popular President Donald J. Trump, and that she is basing her potential claims on trying to find a tiny word or phrase that isn't there during an absolutely perfect phone call concerning widespread election BS in Georgia. He claimed that those on the call had no problems with the call and didn't voice any objections or complaints about anything that I said on the call, which could be construed as inappropriate. Part of the probe includes a call he made to Raffensperger asking him to find more than 11,000 votes, the one I just played for you. David, what do you have to say now with your TDS? David. Raffensperger spurned Trump's entreaties, refusing to go along with the effort to find enough votes to overturn the election. That drew Trump's ire, leading the former president to endorse a challenger to Raffensperger in 2021. Raffensperger ultimately prevailed in his Republican primary earlier this year in 2022. But yeah, no, totally. That sounds like a legitimate recording. Even the president said it was because it was him. Okay. Glad we could get that covered. Love that for us. That was way down here. Okay. Past my time. I appreciate you guys. W's to you. What did we get to? 148,000 likes. Not bad. Not bad. I'll take it. We could have hit 200,000. I know we could have. If I would have given you a little more time. Absolutely could have. I appreciate you guys. Huge fucking W's to all you donators today. I honestly didn't think PG Howie would piss you guys off that much. He was very, very frustrating. It is very frustrating to talk to people who only have feelings, but they sound more intelligent than they actually are. It is very frustrating. But W's to the donators for completing my goal and more today on a Monday, because Mondays tend to be a little bit harder, and I know that. Everybody's going through shit. But I appreciate you guys paying for a woman's labor here on this platform for what I do every day. Talking to these idiots, but also really the real work, which is coming up with this information and trying to fact check it and get it to you guys and make sure if you haven't heard of it that you do, so you have it in your repertoire to bring to friends, family, people, boots on the ground when you guys are out there trying to get people to vote. So thank you guys so much for everything that you do to support me so that I can be here every day and do this. I'm going to try to be here at 9 a.m. Mountain Time tomorrow. That is the plan to try. We'll see. I'm going to try and get up earlier, try and do the things. But I appreciate you. Over on TikTok, who's live on TikTok that we can raid? And if they're live on YouTube, that would be great as well. Thank you so much, Mark, for the jewels. I appreciate you. Let's see who's live over here. So many men. Speaking of, I guess, YouTube and Twitch, I'm going to send you guys to RTP like I usually do because he's just brilliant. Like, he really is. And he is a man, which sucks. But he's deconstructing with his manhood. So we do love that. So I am going to send Twitch and YouTube over to RTP real quick. And then we can get TikTok going somewhere as well. But I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much, YouTube and Twitch. I will be back tomorrow, hopefully 9 a.m. Mountain Time. If not, it will definitely be 10 a.m. Mountain Time. And I will see you guys tomorrow. Do we have a funny? I mean, I had a